Hi, Adam. There are a lot of disturbing elements in this, including this. According to investigators, the suspect, Josh David Eckenrode, went by the handle The White Josh on his Snapchat account, and he was known among his friends as Redneck Josh. Eckenrode has been charged with murdering high school classmate Curtis Mason Smith. But when detectives searched Eckenrode's apartment in Thurmont Monday, court documents revealed the discovery of a stash of guns, 2 live explosive devices, bomb-making materials, a tactical vest, a note with, quote, apologies for having to go out this way, and a written plan of action detailing guns strategically stored in different stages at an unknown location. The evidence was consistent with Eckenrode possibly intending on committing a mass shooting and or mass casualty event, investigators wrote. Here's Frederick County Sheriff Chuck Jenkins.
We found the notes. The notes were basically a suicide-type note with basically vague information about potential plans to carry something out. What that event was, what that mass casualty event may have been, we have no idea. We found a number of rifles, shotguns, a number of handguns, explosive devices that were built and materials to build more devices. So it's very concerning about what was going on in his apartment.
The suspect in this case had a social media handle on Snapchat as The White Josh and was known as Redneck Josh. That makes people wonder about whether or not we may have stumbled into a white supremacy situation or something like that. Do you have any evidence on anything like that?
Again, nothing we found so far lends us to believe there's anything to do with white supremacy. I think that was just his personal identifier, his personal handle, and we found nothing to indicate that.
Detectives think the victim of the murder, Curtis Mason Smith, went to see Eckenrode Friday. According to charging documents in the case, they believe Smith was shot during the meeting at Eckenrode's apartment in Thurmont. Detectives asked Eckenrode if he aimed to buy a gun from Smith, documents say. Investigators believe Smith's body was stuffed into the back of his own car, which was abandoned at a property in North Frederick. Now, that teen known as Redneck Josh, the suspect in this case, is being held without bail here in Frederick County tonight while investigators continue to look into what the possible motive of the murder may have been and the possible motive of this possible mass attack that appear to be in its planning stages. Reporting live in Frederick, Scott Broom, WUSA 9. Adam?
So, Scott, you alluded to some of the details there. Do we have any idea? Do police know why Smith might have been killed? Any connection to the explosives or possible plot?
The sheriff thinks no. He does not think these boys were conspiring together for whatever this mass attack may have been. In fact, the sheriff said they barely knew each other. They were high school classmates. We do know that investigators here were asking the suspect questions about a possible firearm sale between the two of them. But again, that motive has not been nailed down yet.
Yeah, we'll wait till they figure this out and piece it all together. Scott Broom, thank you. Now let's zero in on the suspect in this case, Joshua Eckenrode. Deputies say he had a history of drug dealing, and they claim he had explosives and guns at his apartment, as you heard. Delia Gonsalves is live outside Thomas Johnson High School in Frederick, where both the suspect and victim graduated last year. And Dee, you talked with one of the suspect's best friends.
That's right. They all went to high school here at Thomas Johnson High School, graduating just last year. I'm told that the suspect wasn't hugely popular, but he did have a core group of friends. They were very close-knit, one describing a very close bond that he had with Joshua, spending a lot of time with him outdoors, most recently spending a lot of time online, having online social interactions. He says he is still numb, but tonight he spoke to us on the phone. Did they ask you to do that? I was sitting in my parked car. Murder suspect Joshua Eckenrode's friend was sitting in his parked car outside the sheriff's office, where he told deputies about his friend, now accused of murder and plotting a mass casualty attack. The friend spoke to us after we agreed to protect his identity. We don't really know who Josh is, so that's kind of why I'm reaching out. The friend told us Josh didn't like it when you disagreed with him, would get mad really quick. He's gone through counseling at school before. Neighbors say for most of his life, Josh lived with his dad in an apartment above this convenience store on Mountaindale Road in Thurmont. After his parents divorced, Mom moved a few miles away to this home on Bethel Road.
I went to the movies Friday before 1 o'clock, got back around 4 a little bit, and I just saw the boy hosing the driveway down.
According to court documents, the victim, 19-year-old Curtis Mason Smith, met Eckenrode at his mom's home Friday, the day he disappeared. Investigators later discovering a large red stain on the driveway. Tests prove it was human blood. The charging documents indicate investigators found more evidence in trash cans, blood-soaked towels, and stained clothes belonging to the victim and suspect.
If that's over there, I'm a little worried about it going off, but I'm pretty sure they got it cleaned up. I hope they got it cleaned up. But we're out in rural America right now. There's people with guns. I got guns, and there's some explosive devices lying around.
Do you believe anything that you're reading in the papers about him?
I mean, if he got arrested with those charges, yeah. I don't know why, though. It's still a mystery. They're still investigating.
The friend on that phone said it is still a mystery. He doesn't know why his friend is implicated in all of this. He says he is still numb and spoke to a lot of other friends who just can't believe that this is happening. But they all volunteered to speak to sheriff deputies today because they said they want to help in this investigation. We're live in Frederick tonight. Delia Gonzalez, WUSA 9.